Within the process and the practice, we are unraveling ourselves and allowing ourselves to become more open to ideas to flow to us and through us through a range of channels. So by making contact with journaling, with poetry, with writing, painting, drawing, sculpting, dancing, yoga, vocalizing, breathwork, a walk in nature, reading, breathing, stopping, becoming still, falling into that place of being, we are opening ourselves up to the flow of the muse, dropping into a more subtle realm within our psyche where the process itself becomes our own initiation. Whatever your path as an artist is, whether you want to call yourself a painter, an illustrator, a musician, a dancer, an artist, or simply one who dances with life, or one who is an artist of their own life, a co-creator of their own life. By engaging in this process as it shows up for us moment to moment, we are becoming initiated, or we are allowing a deeper sense of ourselves to flow through. One that is more authentic, more present, more in truth to who we actually are, and more in truth to the life force flowing through all of us. If we think of creativity as an energy, a life force that just wants to express, and the fact that it chooses people, it chooses you to manifest through, begin to understand this process of initiation. That we receive an idea that can be uniquely experienced, uniquely carried out, uniquely fitting into our lives, that will lead us into the next step of inspiration or into the next step of expression. By engaging in the process of creativity, by engaging in the process of the life force, of the practice of expression, of dancing with life, we are shedding the layers that are stopping us from doing so. But the only way is through. If we are not painting because we're procrastinating, the only way to move through that procrastination is perhaps to begin painting. And I'm not saying, of course, take it with a grain of salt. Make it fit into your own world in whatever way you want and need it to be. But what I'm trying to present here is that the only way is through. With the subject of procrastination, for example, and not painting, we might be avoiding the idea of painting and trying to find a way to move beyond the procrastination. But we usually do that by fighting and resisting this state of procrastination. Of course, we can dive deeper and look at why we're procrastinating. What is procrastination offering us? Are we going in the right direction? Perhaps procrastination is there because our heart is not fully in something and we're just trying to push through because we have an idea, goal in our mind that we have to get through this particular thing in order to achieve something on the other end of that. And of course, yes, there's other movements that we can do other than painting to move into that state of creativity and into that state of alchemizing the procrastination. But by avoiding the concept of painting or the action that we have to do in order to move into creativity, the answer is usually right in front of us. So once again, in the case of I'm avoiding painting because I am afraid, or because I have self-doubt, or because I am procrastinating, whatever the reason, one aspect to look at this is that we are avoiding the act itself. But by beginning to paint, it doesn't have to be pretty, but by engaging in this free flow act of painting, we are alchemizing our fear, we are alchemizing our procrastination, we are alchemizing our stagnation. Let me know if this is making sense. This is just one aspect of looking at this diamond. But by engaging in the act that we fear the most, in this example, painting, we are alchemizing all the other aspects without forcing or without avoiding the whole concept of procrastination. Where our attention goes, our energy flows. So if we're constantly focused on why we are not painting, why we are not creating, why we're not in a direction that we are looking for, then we're putting all our energy on the obstacle. You know what I mean? And by actually taking ourselves back to point one, where we are literally faced with two options, and that is to procrastinate or to paint, of course, I want to acknowledge that there might be legitimate reasons why we are procrastinating. And yes, also acknowledging the fact that in the case of procrastination or whatever obstacle, there's other ways to move energy. Ultimately, it is all leading us to the act of painting itself, which will be our greatest initiation. So for example, if I'm experiencing procrastination, I choose to dance in order to enhance my energy of creativity, to help my brain calm down, to tap into that life force, whatever that may be for you. It could be going on a walk or drinking a cup of cacao or doing a pranayama session or breath work. Ultimately, it's the painting that we are avoiding, or it is the painting that we are going towards, because by facing this challenge, this difficulty, we are becoming initiated. We are alchemizing our fear, we are alchemizing our procrastination, we are alchemizing any idea we might have around why we are not doing this said thing. This model can be applied to life itself, to avoiding things that we are doing, to focusing on something that is in our way rather than the act itself or the movement or the creation. My dear sister recently used the term organic manifestation. By taking that natural movement, we are in fact embracing the process and allowing it to help us become someone, to help us become the person who has overcome this challenge, who has overcome this obstacle. Of the shadow, we get the gold from the cave. We undergo the process of initiation. If you imagine a folk tale where the hero, the heroine, goes on a journey of initiation, where they face challenges and obstacles, this model can also be applied to the creative process or any challenge, idea, or situation that you might have. Initiation and the process that we reach to at the end is our initiation. What comes to me is, to sum it all up, why we should enjoy the process and not focus on the goal. Because the process is the initiation itself, and when we reach the goal, then we are already the person at the end of that process. Therefore, that tension, that excitement, that tension and contrast from the world is not there, because we are, something new comes about, something exciting in a different way. But by actually allowing life to mold us in this way through the inspirations that we receive, then we begin to engage and experience life. This is a really deep perspective shift where periods in my life where I will forget and I will do it again, and that's okay. But we still get to the knowing that we can shift our perspective and allow our greatest challenges and our greatest shadows to become our greatest gifts, to become our initiators. So can we begin to get more curious about what is our obstacle offering us and how we can show up to it or in relation to it? Can we be curious how we can grow? Can we be curious how we alchemize? Can we be curious right here in this moment with whatever we are experiencing? Can we be curious enough to allow or to try on a different viewpoint or a different perspective of who we could be or become through the process or the practice unravels us?